See, I wanted to speak on this right quick. I wanted to speak on this because it's a video that I made not too long ago about this whole load management thing. And I'm glad somebody in well, that used to be in the NBA, coaching the NBA, but still connected to the NBA, is saying this. For some reason, the Van Gundy brothers, they be saying some real stuff. But I thought he said this during a telecast of a game because I think Stan Van Gundy is on TNT, right? I don't think he's on ESPN. He's on TNT. I think Jeff is on ESPN. But he had a rant, a Twitter rant, and I'm glad he said it. And this is what he said, if you haven't heard it by now. 90s NBA teams had just a trainer, a strength coach, they practiced more often, and had harder and played more back-to-backs, Van Gundy ranted. Teams now have a huge medical and performance staff and value rest over practice. Yet injuries in games are way up. Something's not working. I said that in the video not too long ago. And he's right. He is absolutely right. And I guess it created a whole Twitter storm because the athletic John Hollinger responded to the former coach. I'm reading this off heavy.com. Former coach arguing that changes to the game as a whole have resulted in more missed games. And then Van Gundy replied inside the player's value system as reason for missed games, which is also true. And Van Gundy replies back to the criticism saying, "Sorry, but not buying it, John. Game is definitely faster, but less physical. What has really changed is the value system," he argued. "If these performance and medical staffs are so necessary, guys should be missing this many games." And then he was referring to the Miami Heat, who had Jimmy Butler and many others sidelined for 10 games. And I think the Heat are the second. The Heat have the second most missed games due to injury with 190, only trailing the Orlando Magic, who have 211 players missing games so far this season combined. That is ridiculous. Now I almost wanted to know what the numbers are for players back in the day missing games, even in the 90s. That's freaking ridiculous. But, like Stan Van Gundy said, these game players are supposed to be faster, better, tougher, quicker, but they can't play that many games. They always sitting out. But I do say this though. I think recently, I don't know, Kawhi Leonard pointed out, but either Kawhi Leonard pointed out or somebody from his camp pointed out that the Clippers like to maintain both him and Paul George, not have them play so many minutes because they are scared because they're going to get hurt. Well, here's my thing to it. What's the point of playing if you ain't going to make them play? What's the point of anything? That's like saying that, oh, this guy who works on these antennas, TV masts, oh, they can't work. They can't put new lights in to replace the old lights because their job is dangerous because they got to go up 1,000 feet almost or 900 feet to change these TV masts' lights. It's like, that's like saying that. That's ridiculous. Or it's like saying a police, better yet, a cop can't do his job. They won't let him do his job because they fear he might die on the job. Doesn't make any sense. Not saying that, well, injuries are going to happen no matter what. Can't prevent them. But a perfect way to prevent them are they got to go out there and play. You can't just sit there and play and then don't play 2 or 3 games and come back out there. You can't do that. So I'm glad Van Gundy called that out. I think it's just ridiculous. Every time I see one of these star players sitting on the bench, it's like, what happened with him? Oh, just rest or supposedly knee hurts in quotations. No, they just resting. Like I think that's what they're doing with Giannis right now. they want to rest Giannis because he played so much lately that they're calling it a knee. Because every time Giannis is out for a game or so, it's always a knee. So I don't know. That's why I respect the players of the old more because they played with all kinds of ailments, but they came back out there, played back to back, sometimes playing 3 games within 5 nights. No complaints from them. Yeah, their careers may have been shorter, but they went out there and played all 82 games. They went out there and performed for the fans. It's ridiculous. I think the only game I went to this season, it was the Detroit Pistons and it's probably a bad example. The Pistons and the Suns. Half of the Pistons weren't even playing because they was either injured, supposedly. Cheat the fans, man. Cheat the fans. And that's why LeBeau out there can play for 20 years because he's been part of this low management too. Freaking ridiculous.